Hello dear friends, and first of all, thank you for watching this video, and I hope I can give you a lot of information that you need to plant your own tomatoes. I love planting around my house, and I try to get as much benefit of my property as possible. Although I live in a hill that I'm trying to kind of make level so I can produce a lot of more things. I have some issues with water in other areas, so I don't want to compromise a lot of the plants with runoffs from other buildings, because I live between two commercial buildings and a lot of the water falls into my backyard. So you need to learn how to deal with those things, and that's why you find the best places for you to plant your plants. We need to understand that if we're going to plant tomatoes, tomatoes have few important needs as they need to grow, right? So they are almost full sun, right? If you're able to get at least like 6-7 hours of sunlight, that would be awesome for your plants, right? Most of them, I have 3 species over here. So I have the Roma tomato, I have the beefsteak, and I have the cherry tomatoes in this case, right? 3 of them. Sometimes it's almost enough. I mean, I like to make some tomato sauce, or just can some stuff sometimes, and produce a lot of tomato paste to add to my things. I also like to make pesto out of all my other plants. So I enjoy growing things, but sometimes we have the frustration. It's like, my tomatoes are not growing. How can I grow my tomatoes? How can I do all these things? And we get into that frustration. So there are a few things that I'm going to recommend you as my experience happens with my tomatoes. And one of the things that is important is to make sure that you have a constant stream of water that you're going to supply. So you don't want to leave these plants without much water for long periods of time, because the fruit is gonna shrink, and as it gets a lot more water, it's gonna burst. And sometimes that's the frustration that you see. Why is my tomato kind of bursting? And I don't like to use that tomato because it looks ugly or whatever. It's because a lot of water is coming at once. So you want to make sure that if you're in a rainy season, right, you want to make sure that from shower to shower, from rain to rain, you make sure that you water your plants. And that's important things to remember. The other important thing is to understand that the plant needs a lot of nitrogen, and sometimes people kind of mix and enrich nitrogen, or they add a lot of more nitrogen to the soil, which is one of the ways that you can do it. But the other way that I do it is by producing my own compost. And what I do is that I get all my cuttings from when I'm pruning all the plants, and the peels from different things that are not citrusy, like potato peel, banana peels, and all these things, and I mix it up in a trench that I make. And by adding all these leaves and all these things, you create this kind of rich compost that gets full of worms and all these things. And then at the end, what I do is that I add a little bit of calcium that I get from the nursery, and the lime, so I mix this lime and all that stuff to reduce a little bit of the acidity, so the plants are a little more easy to absorb the nutrients, right? So you can have some issues with your plants. Let's say if you start seeing a lot of little spots around, like black spots, these plants, if you actually water it down on top of the leaves, they tend to rot. So you want to make sure that you have airflow, and you don't water your tomato plants from the top, but just on the bottom, right, on the roots. The other important thing is that some of these plants, like this big Roma plant over here, the tomato, it grows really big, and you want to have a nice structure. So sometimes when they sell those frames at the store that are just like 2 rings and that's it, your plant tends to kind of break because it's too heavy for that frame. So what I do is that I use this type of fence, this type of mesh or wire fence that are sold over there at the Tractor Supply or your home improvement store. And this one sometimes is used for your pets, or to prevent animals from coming inside your house or your yard. So it's really good because you make these nice cylinders. You cut the bottom, so you leave the spikes exposed, and then you bury it down right in the middle of the plant. You make some little holes for you to be able to have access to your plant and to your fruits and stuff like that. Make some cuttings or whatever, and then it's kind of cool to be able to access your plant, right? So I already harvest some tomato from the 3 different kinds. I'm having more luck with the Roma tomatoes and the cherry tomatoes. The beefsteak is like 3 or 4 that are big ones, but they are not as these ones are giving a lot of more fruit. Now I'm noticing that I have a little bit of yellowing on my leaves, and that's deficiency of some nutrients. So now I'm just gonna add a little bit more of the nutrients, and sometimes I get this I get it like Miracle-Gro or organic fertilizers that are really good. This one is for like plants and flowers. We have a lot of flowers, so you can mix it up with the water according with instructions, and just again put it on the roots, and it will grow really well. Now the other thing is that you have issues with caterpillars. Some of these I don't know, hookworms or whatever you want to call them, they're beautiful. They're nice and green and beautiful, but they are destructive. So they come and they see a plant like that, and then they will just start devouring that stuff overnight. So you wanna be in the lookout and make sure. I actually cut one just by looking at it, but just from time to time you wanna inspect your plants so they don't devour your plants. And if you have a black light, like a flashlight with black light, you can actually see it at night. And so it's easy because they become like fluorescent, and they're not able to hide anymore, right? So another important thing when you're growing tomatoes is that if you have stems that are overgrowing, or places that that they're taking away from the from the other leaves that are giving you nice flowers, you can actually trim them down a little bit. Once you have that nice structure, you can trim down, because they will get a lot more of the resources. And if you're not putting too many nutrients, your fruits are not going to be as nice and rich, as beautiful, like the ones that you saw that I was pulling out. So those are the most important things. Again, if you need a lot of ventilation, and the taller the structure is to support it, the better, because air can flow, and you don't have that issue with a lot of the leaves becoming too wet, too moist, because they will rot. So dig your trench really well. Whatever you're going to work on, make sure that you mix your soil really well. If you have that compost, is really good. You can actually find like vegetable soil that is sold. And if you have just your regular stuff, you can actually put a little bit of lime. If you have I have fireplaces, so sometimes I actually mix the ashes from the fireplace. I put it aside, and then I mix it up really well, and that gives a lot more nutrients and things like that. So those natural ways of creating your own garden is really good, but you can actually boost them out a little bit with some nutrients, or like fungicides. Like for instance, if you have a lot of I don't know lice or these little bugs that get into your plants, you can actually use just your organic fungicides that will help you to prevent all these animals from proliferating, right, damaging your plant. You can actually create some natural, and I'm going to be doing some stuff like that. I like to grow a lot of things. A while ago I actually put how to reproduce rosemary. It's really good for my spices and things like that. When I do like some Italian food, it's really good to have like oregano, rosemary, tomatoes, basil. All those things are really nice, and the rich flavors. In fact, the rosemary, I'm doing other videos for my other channels that actually help to grow. My hair is falling down, is thinning, and I'm worried that if I don't care for my hair, I will lose it really quick. I have some friends that are my age. I'm 41 right now, and they're losing a lot of hair, and I think that's, besides the stress and other stuff, is lack of care. A lot of women put a lot of more attention than men, and then that's why my channel is going to be for men, the other channel, so you can actually learn some tricks and things. In fact, if you mix a little bit of the flaxseed seeds with a little bit of rosemary and all that stuff, and you mix that really well, you create a natural gel that you can use instead of using the other one. Because I look like a woodpecker right now is because I'm not using gel. I'm afraid that was one of the causes that was doing that, because it has a lot of chemicals, and although it helps my hair to kind of stay still, it can be a problem. So those are my recommendations. In my case, again, the cherry tomatoes are giving a lot. The Roma tomatoes here are giving a lot. The beefsteak is not that good. but anyway, you can you can harvest this for many months as long as you keep it nice and healthy, full of nutrients, and that's it. So I hope this video will help you to understand a little bit more about your tomatoes, how you can grow at home all these nice things, and how you can expand more stuff. I'm gonna make more space for more plants and for next spring, and I hope that I can teach you some other tricks about your garden. All right, subscribe, share if you don't not familiar with my channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.